For sure, for sure. Just speaking about the pandemic, a lot of people through this pandemic have dealt with something that's been called the pandemic fatigue, and it's gotten to the point where the mental health crisis has become somewhat of a silent pandemic issue. What's your advice to Canadians that might be dealing with their own mental health issues right now?
Don't be quiet about it. I remember as a kid growing up and I was having struggles, I tried to keep it to myself. I didn't talk about it. And that was the worst thing you can do. Open up, talk to someone. It's okay. We're all going through this, but certainly reach out for help. And what we're noticing is in this pandemic, we're getting a bit isolated. And so though we still have to respect physical distancing and we can't be with people in person, but there's many ways to connect. So try to find those ways to connect with people. We are very social. Humans are social. We need to have that interaction and vibe with people. So find ways to stay connected despite the limitations we're faced with.
Right. I mean, not only it's limitations in terms of, social distancing and whatnot, but it's also a financial limitation for a lot of people. And I know CERB has been helping a lot of people out as well. The Liberal government just recently announced that CERB repayments would no longer be expected from self-employed Canadians. Do you believe this process took too long for Canadians who incorrectly applied, kind of in quote unquote good faith?
Oh, absolutely. I was out months and months ago, right before the holiday season hit. And I said, why is this government? Why are the Liberals going after self-employed people who were told they were okay to apply? And they know this. They know that they had given information. And based on that information, people applied. It was more than just good faith. They followed the rules. And the Liberal government went after them. And many people sold their cars, sold their homes to pay back the money because people don't have $10,000, $12,000 laying around. They were scared when they heard they had to pay it back when they didn't do anything wrong. Then on the flip side, we know of this. These are public companies, over 60 companies that took public money because they were feeling the pressures of COVID-19. Their sales were down, but then they turned around and paid out dividends. You only pay out a dividend if you made a profit. And the Liberal government didn't go after those companies. So you're going to go after self-employed people who applied following the rules, make them suffer through the holiday season with all this uncertainty, and let the big wealthy companies that took money from the public and then turned around and paid out dividends and let them off the hook. That's a matter of choices. And that was the wrong choice that the Liberals made.
Right.
No,
Got to get fired up, but man, I thought that was unfair.
No, I definitely couldn't agree more. I know countless people who have been in that situation have had anxiety over it, just wondering what to do in the situation. And it's a little bit very uncertain to say the least. But just speaking of people being uncertain in the situation, when do you believe the timeline will be for public schools to be deemed COVID safe? I've heard countless stories from my niece, family, friends, and even children just finding it difficult to adapt to the online learning system.
Yeah, the online learning system has been really tough on a lot of families. You got folks at home that are working from home, and their kids are going to school at home. You got multiple kids in multiple classrooms. You need 3 or 4 different laptops set up. We're getting bandwidth problems because everyone on the internet at the same time. So it's been really tough. And kids aren't getting the same experience. Half the education experience, or more than that, is the interactions when you're in school with your friends and teachers and just the way you learn to interact. So kids are missing out on that. That's why I think more than ever, the number one priority has got to be the vaccination. If everyone is vaccinated, we know that we're not going to have those same spikes in ICU or extreme health risk situations where people need to get on ventilators. The vaccine, the whole point of it is to keep people safe. If there is an infection, it's not going to get too serious. So that's got to be our focus. The only way we're going to be truly safe in school is if people are vaccinated. I think that's what all the public health experts are saying. There's many other things we need to do. Keep people physically distanced, make sure there's good protocols in place. Paid sick leave is vital. But really, once we have the vaccine and everyone vaccinated, that's the only time we're really going to know that people are not going to get really sick.
Right. It's an interesting conversation, right? Because think about, I finished school. Nate's almost finished school, and I'm sure you have finished school as well.
It's been a minute, not too long.
We never experienced the online learning to the degree that kids nowadays are using, right? So it's just, 8-7 hours a day, you're kind of sitting on this laptop using the same thing. And I think another question I had was the work from home scenario. A lot of workplaces have realized a lot more jobs can be done via working from home. Do you think going forward, even after this pandemic is done, maybe the work-life balance situation kind of adjusts in this country as well?
Well, that's probably one of the positive things. The difficult thing is schools and kids going to online learning. That's been very difficult.
Right.
But for a lot of people, working from home is actually a great way to be able to connect with your family more, a better lifestyle for a lot of people. It gets rid of a very difficult commute. So the work from home is actually opening up a lot of doors. And I think it's going to be a positive thing. That's the silver lining in a lot of difficulty and a lot of pain. The one silver lining is a lot of businesses learning, a lot of work can be done from home, and it was discouraged, I think, or not as often encouraged. And
right.
Now I think more people will realize, or more businesses will realize they can get the same work done. And it's in a lot of ways better for the worker to be able to work from home.
Yo, what's up? Thanks for watching our video. And if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe, and watch our other videos.
Pick 'em right there.